All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mr. Austin. I'm the band director at Santa Fe Trail Middle School, and today we're going to be talking about time signatures. Now, time signatures are those two numbers that you see at the beginning of every single song, right? So right now, what we're looking at is a time signature we're really familiar with. This is 4/4. And when I say 4/4, we start with the top number, and then we say the bottom number, right? So 4/4, top, bottom. Okay. And these numbers are going to tell us some really important things about the music that we're about to play, right? So the top number tells us how many beats are in a measure. Let me move my face out of here for you. There we go. Tells us how many beats are in a measure. And then the bottom number is going to tell us what type of note gets the beat. Now, this is where a lot of sixth graders get confused because what exactly do we mean by that, and how do we define what note equals what number? What I want you guys to do is I want you to imagine a pizza, okay? So if I take a pizza and I don't do anything to it, I don't cut it in half, I don't share it with any of my friends, I technically have one whole pizza, right? I have one slice of pizza, and that'd be a really big slice, right? But I have one whole pizza, okay? Now, if I were to take that pizza and I were to split it into half, how many slices of pizza do I now have? I have two, right? So I took a pizza, I split it into half, and now I've got two slices of pizza, okay? Now, if I take a pizza and I split it into quarters, how many slices do I have? I now have four, right? Another way to think about that is how many quarters fit into a dollar, right? We've got 4 quarters that fit into a dollar. So now this is where we get the names for the numbers, right? Or this is where we equate what note is going to get what beat. So for example, you guys might be thinking, well, wait, Mr. Austin, whole notes get 4 beats. Yes, they do. But in this sense, I'm only talking about how we name the numbers, right? So if you would see a 1 underneath there, that would equal a whole note, right? If you see a 2 on your bottom number, when we're looking at a time signature, that would equal a half note. If you see a 4 on the bottom of your time signature, that equals a quarter note, right? So moving on, this is an example of it in real life. So now you take a look at the left at the beginning of our song, we've got 4/4, right? And again, that's the top number and then the bottom number, 4/4. Now, when I start counting these numbers, we can only go up to 4, right? So we've got the bottom numbers telling us that we're going to be doing this with quarter notes. That quarter notes is going to be getting the beat. And then the top number is telling us that we're only going to be able to fit 4 beats into the measure, right? So that means we're only going to be able to fit 4 quarter notes. Now, if I wanted to add a 5th quarter note, I wouldn't be able to do it because you can only go up to 4. So if I wanted to add another quarter note to this, I would actually have to start a brand new measure and start back over with 1. Okay. So now this week, you're actually looking at number 37, which has a time signature of 2/4. And again, we're starting with the top and then saying the bottom, 2/4. Now, this one gets a little bit different because we have a different number here on top. But that bottom number is still the same, right? That bottom number is still telling us that we're going to be using quarter notes, or our quarter note is going to be getting the beat, right? That top number is going to tell us that we have 2 beats in every measure, or we can have 2 quarter notes, right? So now let's take a look at what you might see in your actual music, okay? So notice how when we count measures here, we can say 1 and we can say 2. But now we can't go any higher than that because we can only have 2 beats in our measure because of this guy right here, okay? Now, one of the other things you'll see is in another measure in 37, you see a half note. How many beats does a half note get? A half note gets 2 beats, right? And that fits perfectly in with what we've got here. Okay. If you've got any questions, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to your home band director.